Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, today I'm talking about Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry is crying foul on the black community. According to him, black people have given him a harder time in his Hollywood ascent to stardom than white people. Now, that might be hard to believe, but let's see why he's making this charge against us. There's a new Prime Video documentary on Tyler Perry called Maxine's Baby, The Tyler Perry Story. And in an interview, Tyler Perry is talking about the backlash he's received from corners of the black community. Tyler Perry's incredible journey from childhood abuse and poverty to billionaire entertainment mogul is brought to life by those closest to him in the new documentary Maxine's Baby, The Tyler Perry Story. Out Friday on Prime Video, the glowing 2-hour profile is co-directed by Armani Ortiz and Jalila Bekele, the latter of whom shares a son with Perry. So he's got his baby mama out here co-directing his documentary. Isn't that rich? And she is beautiful. She's Ethiopian, and she is a model, or was a model, but this is his son's mother. While the documentary functions mostly as a celebration of Tyler Perry's talents and remarkable self-made success in an often hostile industry, Maxine's Baby doesn't totally shy away from the criticism Perry has received, not only from Hollywood, but also from corners of the black community. The latter, he says, stung the most. I think the most difficult part of all of the success wasn't battling Hollywood, it was black people, Tyler Perry said. There's a certain class of black people who look down on all things Tyler Perry. And he's right about that. There is a saying by someone who shall remain nameless that the worst words coming out of Hollywood are created, written, acted, produced, and directed by Tyler Perry. He says those are the worst words coming out of Hollywood. When Tyler first came out doing his plays and then his movies starring Madea, him jumping around in a dress, smoking a cigarette, and behaving like a woman, grandma, auntie, the nosy woman down the street, I think we thought it was harmless. I know I did. I don't think we saw it as anything but entertainment. I don't think that we looked at the big picture of the image, let's say, of what was going out in the greater community about black people and black men. And I think that's a lot of the criticism that he's getting is from black American men, because they don't like the image that he is portraying of a black man in a dress acting like an intolerable middle-aged black woman. So some of the prominent black Americans who have been pointed out as being critical of Tyler Perry's main character, Madea, are scholars like Donald Bogle, journalists Jamilah Lemieux, and Spike Lee, who is Tyler Perry's colleague. Spike Lee has been very vocal about his criticism of Madea. He has called it coonery buffoonery. In an open letter to National Public Radio, Jamilah Lemieux said Tyler Perry's work has been marked by old stereotypes of buffoonish, emasculated black men and crass, sassy black women. The foundation of his success is the Madea character. But Jamala Lemo says, through Madea, the country has laughed at one of the most important members of the black community, Mother Dear, the beloved matriarch. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. And many of us do call our mothers and grandmothers Madea. And he did take something that was dear to us and make it into a figure of mockery, somebody to be laughed at, for real. I'm curious to know how other black people feel about that. Some of us just laugh at it and keep going, but some people feel very strongly about it. Spike Lee's criticism of Tyler Perry's characters show up in the documentary, along with other critical voices like award-winning author Carl Hancock Rux, who said, I don't think Tyler Perry entered the creative marketplace to save the black community. And if he did, I think he would have actually come fully armed, which he did not. Well, I don't think any of us think that Tyler Perry was trying to save the black community. I think Tyler Perry was trying to save himself. He said he was living in his car at one point, and he was writing those plays and nobody was coming to see them. So what do you do when you're down and out? No money, nowhere to stay, don't know where your next meal is going to come from. What do? You fall back on the black woman. Tyler Perry has responded to the backlash before, including telling Spike Lee to go to hell. But he reflects more deeply on the criticism in the documentary. When I started to look at the history of what we've done to each other as black people, others who are successful, it's pretty interesting to see, he says. Amos and Andy was the first African Americans on television, and it was the NAACP who boycotted, the first boycott ever. So the show was yanked off the air in 1953, and there was not another black cast on television until the late 1960s. They might have taken Amos and Andy off the air in 1953, as in they weren't producing any more of those shows. But I was watching Amos and Andy when I was growing up, and that wasn't 1953. That was in the 60s. Perry also pointed to the NAACP's boycott of the 1985 film The Color Purple, based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Alice Walker. The movie was nominated for 11 Academy Awards. They were picketing outside the Oscars, Perry says. I remember 1985 when The Color Purple was out. Black men hated that story for the fact that there were no decent black men in the movie. In every black community, there's at least some decent black people, including decent black men. But when you don't have any redeeming characters, that is a stereotypical movie, and it doesn't serve the community that it's supposed to serve. Perry adds, Langston Hughes called Zora Neale Hurston a new version of the darky because she spoke from a southern dialect, and she wrote in that dialect, which she absolutely did. So I learned very early on that it's okay. This is how it goes. No matter how well or good your intention is, no matter how many people it freely lifts out of despair and sadness, it only matters to certain critics if it is what they deem to be art. And that would be a controversy, because some of the movies that people call art are not really movies that they're really not movies that people want to see. And some of the stuff that they call blaxploitation or garbage movies are the ones that people find entertaining. So that is sort of a slippery slope that many ethnic groups walk, but black people for sure. Rapper Killer Mike defends Tyler Perry's work. He says, the audience is there, and he's right about that. He paid attention to an audience that people ignored and were saying, come up to us. No, I'm down here with you. We're going to laugh at the things that we laugh about amongst family gatherings. We're going to make public the things that we think of as joking. And he did. That is what he does. As clips play of white actors like John Travolta performing in drag in Hairspray, the rapper adds, when you look at white comedy, they're allowed to do the most ridiculous things, and they never have to wear the burden of, you are making all Irish people look bad. You're making all Scottish people look bad. Mel Brooks didn't worry about making his culture look bad. He worried about being funny. And if it used anecdotal things that he had ownership or control over, it was permitted. And Mr. Perry has done the same thing. He was a genius in doing so. I would agree with that. Tyler Perry is very good at what he does. It just doesn't happen to be what many in the black community want. If he had cast a woman doing that role instead of himself, I think it would go over better with the people who criticize him. Tyler Perry ends by saying, it's definitely more hurtful when it comes from your own community. But his own community, at the same time, is the one who has got him to where he is now. That's a fact. And he needs to keep that in mind while he's doing all this criticism. So it's not the whole community. It's a few, It's a few people. But we love those people too. And that's right. We have to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Okay, y'all. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the video. And as always, have a great day.